Hello, friends. Hello, audience, fans, dictators, and despots, and friendly, and just you're all welcome to my show. So today I heard that Modi of India is making his way to Kyiv to meet with those Kievan Rus or whoever they are, right? What do you think he's trying to do? Uh, this guy is on the record being a supporter of Putin and vehement opponent of Ukraine. Uh, well, like they say, those old Arabs used to say the gist or the meaning is in the heart of the poet. So when they read a poem, they understood it in different contexts, right? They interpreted it with multiple meanings, right? But the exact meaning is really in the heart of the poet himself. What that means is, I wonder what is this guy there for when he is a well-known, staunch supporter of Putin, right? Here's my guess. The first guess is he's going to try to achieve what nobody else can, meaningly try to get Ukraine to cede territory to Russia, or so and so, so and so, because he wants peace. Now, if he is asking for that, then what he's trying to do is give Putin a break. That is the messenger of Putin. When India and China and whoever it is, and the Saudis and whatnot, right? The Arab Gulf regimes, those rulers with ties to Putin and Netanyahu and so on. If they come there talking to you in Kiev about peace and so on, they're really representing Putin. They're trying to buy time. They're trying to give Putin a break. They're trying to get you to withdraw from Russia, but at the same time, they will not ask Putin to withdraw from Kyiv. I mean, from Ukraine, and that includes Crimea, of course, right? What it is very simple. This guy is there to threaten you. He's gonna, like I said, the gist is in the heart of the storyteller or the poet, right? So he is going to he's going to threaten. He's going to have what's called the underlying message of his visit, and what he's going to say is really a threat. Like he's going to play the doom and gloom message, and here are doom and gloom and so on and so forth, and forecast bad future, blah blah blah. That's all he's going to do, folks. I mean, if I was in Kiev and the government of Kiev, why would I want to receive this guy or talk to him? He wants to come to Kiev to have a stroll and be like drink coffee and be a tourist. Maybe he can come. But this guy is a well-known staunch proponent and supporter and helper of Putin and so on. Now, I got an unconfirmed report, but reliable nonetheless, that this is what it is. He is going to try to convince Ukraine to capitulate so as to allow, that's Modi of India, to allow Putin to recover, right? So to allow Putin to recover and continue his campaign or expedition of invading the Anglo-Saxon region of Europe, and that really includes for a starter, this will include the Germanic nations as well as the Scandinavians, right? Make no mistake about that. If everybody is buying time for him, and Netanyahu is the leader, and the cabal of Netanyahu is the one really who sent Modi, the cabal of Netanyahu, who really wanted the Chinese to talk to Kiev and try to convince them of ceding territory, blah, 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 blah. Folks, I can assure you now, and I can assure you forever, so long that regime and that Netanyahu cabal is around, their intentions is really to go into Europe, invade Europe, and destroy it, and then remove this Anglo-Saxon thing. I'm not making this up. When I used to say this way in the past, you probably laughed, but they came around, and they declared it. So, and what he's going to tell him is that Putin is going to go back into the White House. Well, his butt Trump, right? Uh, but we don't know yet, right? I mean, so far from what we're looking is that Kamala is really have the edge on him. Uh, but Kamala and Trump may not be so much different, as a matter of fact. Biden is, but not Kamala, right? Kamala and Obama and Trump, and these are all the cabal of Netanyahu. And that includes, the Modi, that includes Putin, that includes the Ayatollahs, Karaminis, right, and so on. So my question to you, you Western Europeans, you Anglo-Saxons, there is a historic move to eliminate you, just like it is in the Middle East against the Arabs, right? That's it, folks. They declared it, and you know what's coming your way. You know what's crawling your way. There's no longer neutrality. I said this before, I'm going to say it again. Neutrality is not available anymore for you. Two, you already participated. If you gave Ukraine a couple of F-16s, you're in the war already. You're part and parcel of that war. Might as well give it all you've got, right? Because if he succeeds, that Affengesicht Putin makes it to your country, if Ukraine capitulates, he will have gathered momentum and he will make it all the way to the Atlantic, right? I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. But guess what? If you sit down, I said this before, I made this point before. If you sit down watching TV, drinking beer and asleep and so on and so forth, there's nothing's going to stop him, right? And maybe you're so drunk that by the time his soldier is standing on your chest in your bed and about to slay you, right? Then you will wake up to the fact, folks, you can't, if you really want to maintain your European history, your European countries, your European culture, and so on. Now is the time to go in and move, and don't wait for until Trump comes into the White House. If he comes into the White House, don't wait until he comes into the White House. You will even be surprised by what Kamala is going to do, right? So my suggestion to you is, what are you waiting for, folks? What are you waiting on? Really. I mean, this war is the war of all wars in Europe. This war, you either lose your Europe and your identity and your heritage and all that you are, or you stick around. But it's going to take some blood, right? What's his name? Lincoln said, the tree of liberty must be watered with blood, between now and then. This is the fight, folks. This is the fight. Why are you waiting? Why are you waiting on Ukraine? Ukraine, like there's that caricature picture, this big dam, right? And Ukraine is holding it and it's cracking. And what's going to happen? It's going to drown you, folks, you Germanic, you Scandinavian, you English, you so and so, right? So there is no doubt to what's coming your way. And you know what's coming your way? Aside from a lot of cleansing, ethnic cleansing, and gulags, and undesired elements, and so on. And you know what they've done in the Holodomor before, and that's what Putin is doing, right? That's what he did in Syria. That's what he did in the Caucasus. That's what his relatives did in the Balkan. That's what he's doing in Africa. That's what they're doing in Asia, here and there, here and there. Don't you remember when he intervened in Kazakhstan when there was some kind of a coup or something of the sort, and he sent troops into Kazakhstan, even though it's supposedly not part of this fake Russian Federation, right? What do you think he's going to do if he rules your country, right? The first thing he's going to do, he and Netanyahu, right? Give me a second there. Right? He and Netanyahu and, the rest of the group are going to clean you up from those undesired elements, like he's going to Holodomor you Germanics and Scandinavian races, right? Or nations, let's put it this way. To those, Netanyahu doesn't want, and his cabal doesn't want, because he himself has some roots in there, Khazar and so on. They don't want those elements from East China to, in fact, fight. Now they have whites killing whites on those fronts between Ukraine and Russia. whites killing whites. And those East China, the hordes from East China are rubbing their hands, and now they're already complaining. This took longer than it should because now they're going to move en masse into Western Europe. Now, suppose you said, well, they, maybe talking about Russia and Ukraine, bringing all these elements from Russia and Ukraine and dumping them into those two countries. But guess what? If they're your neighbors, what do you think they're going to do next, right? So my advice to you is you can't wait anymore. You already, when you gave Ukraine tanks and machine guns and airplanes and whatnot, you're already part of this war. Why not give it all you've got? Why not fight it off now and make sure you're independent, and be careful. Be careful of those airdrops, paratroopers and airborne assaults on capitals, right? That's a very effective way of neutralizing a country and decapitating a government. Be very careful. Decentralize the government, right? And make sure if they fall and if they make an airdrop on your onto your capital, they fall into a barbecue pit. Let's put it this way. They land over a barbecue pit. Am I saying you've got the best countries in the world, or culture, or religion, or whatever it is? No, folks. But what's coming from there is horror. It's no different from Brave New World. It's no different from 1984 or Animal Farm or something else. Yes, these are not fictions. No different from that simulacra and simulation, right? And what it tells you it's going to do to human beings, right? Calls you cuttings, right? Look at that. I have made commentary on the Matrix, and it tells you precisely what Neo is and what his lights are, right? And it's from that book of simulacra and simulation. It's one evil book, folks, but then it tells you how that cabal of Netanyahu's and Putin and Ayatollah and Mao Zedong and Di Lung and so on feel about you and everybody else, right? So my advice to you is, get up and fight now. This can't wait. This definitely cannot wait. This definitely cannot wait. Trust me on this. Believe me on this. If you wait, every day you wait, you're delaying your victory and your security, breaching your security for an entire year. 2, now Ukraine, I put this before on my Twitter account, and I think I probably said something about that too. Ukraine has to run as a country. So you European nations must adapt their departments, like education, like health, like retirement, like whatever, right? You have to, each country adapts a department, meaningly spending, right? Notwithstanding the weapons. Don't say, oh, we gave Ukraine blah blah billions, right? What are you trying to say? They're defending you now, and it's a miracle. They pulled miracle. I need not say more, folks. Can't you see that those East Chinese are waiting to flood your country in mass like hordes, and then when they come and they rule your country, you complain about refugees from the Middle East, and some of them are bad, really. They're like pro-Syrian regime and so on, and useless stuff, like lazy, and they expect you to hand them money, and they work for Syrian intelligence and whatnot, right? And they don't understand anything else, really. Some of them are really good, and they're really legitimate refugees. And then you complain about those, and yet they are very nice and they're very submissive and so on, because they just want to survive, right? What do you think those East Chinese are going to do when they flood your country? Oh, they're going to knock on your head, you MFs. They're going to knock on your head and beat you and do your women, and there's nothing you can do. So let's pray that doesn't happen, but let's pray that you wake up and start just freaking join the war, man. Just freaking join the war. Start sending conscripts and armies and so on and so forth. Look, Ukraine pulled a miracle, and they made big gain in Kursk. Don't let that gain falter. Support them in that, in Kursk, by troops, by weapons, by satellite, by intelligence. Support them with all that you have. But now, eventually, you really have to be in that war. Because if war comes to you, like in the Netherlands or in Belgium or Benelux or Sweden or Norway or whoever it is, it's too late. You're gonna have to fight, and you will have to fight, but it's a loss, right? Because they made it this far. Look, this is a sound strategy, folks. Right now, you can't wait anymore. That very major war, historic event that is taking place in Europe, this is it. You don't have to wait for a bigger war or the one that is about to do away with your existence. This is it. This is the war. You ought to join in now. What do you think? Again, going back to Modi. What do you think he's going to tell them? He's going to threaten them. Everybody in the world and their mother is trying to apply, their grandparents and whoever it is are trying to pressure Kyiv to capitulate to Putin. And for what? So they can allow him to regroup and come back again and make it all the way to the Atlantic. This is not a major decision, folks. You can't hesitate and vacillate and be confused anymore. This is very obvious what it is. Right now is the time, Poland should take that Kaliningrad. What are you waiting on? Because if you don't take it now, and then say Putin makes his way in Ukraine, it's over not just for you as Poland as a country, but you cannot even think about taking Kaliningrad back anymore. And no, not just that, Poland, Stalin slid Poland westward, right, on account of Germany, and he took that probably 25% of the eastern Poland and made it Russia. I think it's time now to slide it back into the west. So Poland, what are you waiting on, man? Now is the time to send troops, right? Because if Ukraine stops for whatever reason, guess what? You're next. Germany, what are you waiting on? Sweden, what are you waiting on? This is a full-fledged war, man. You really need to send conscripts into Ukraine. Make sure that this guy is busy. Make sure that the gain that Ukraine made in Kursk doesn't just vanish and dissipate, right? You have to keep the momentum going. Needless to say anymore. I assure you, folks, Modi has no good intentions toward you, Anglo-Saxons or Germanics or white people and Scandinavians. Neither do the Chinese, neither do the regime countries, neither do any of those facts that support. That's the Netanyahu cabal, folks. And you know what? Lately I've been observing there are some hydrogen engines, right? Or hydrogen-powered devices and so on and so forth. Maybe you want to build some of those, you Mercedes, you Saab, and so on, and start sending those to Ukraine so they won't need oil and gas anymore, right? Don't worry, nobody is going to blame you for doing whatever you're doing. And if they blame you now and then you obey or listen to their blame and try to avoid it and satisfy them and appease them, they will come back later and step right on your head, you Europeans. That's what's coming your way. Have I made myself clear? That's it, folks. You know what's coming your way. And every day you stop watching, it's like you're watching the very disaster that's going to uproot your nations and civilization and so on and so forth. And watching TV and drinking beer or something like that. You can't do that, folks. You just can't do that. You know what's coming your way. Modi, oh man, you know what he's coming there to do. He doesn't like you, folks. He envisions, of course, this is a far-fetched vision unless Putin makes it in, right? He envisions the northwestern Europe that has India look and religion and feel to it and so on, and so he's no different from those Chinese. That's what Netanyahu's cabal is thinking. You, those Middle Eastern Arab, you Northwestern Europeans, he wants to do away with 100%. Evidence is on the ground, even in the past 2 or 3 years, even in the past 10 years or 30 years, ever since 1979, that Khamenei's revolution in Iran, right? And it's very obvious what they're doing. Have a nice day. Get up and fight. Get up and fight now. Don't wait. Give it all you've got. Have a nice day, my friends, and I hope bad things don't come your way. But hey, unless you defend yourselves, Modi is not going to defend you. Mugabe is not going to defend you. Chinese Di Lung, like Courage the Cowardly Dog is not going to defend you. Assad is not going to defend you. Nobody's going to defend you. And if they come in there, the media will be silent and they will do a harder of a job on your civilians. And you've seen it before in Berlin. Have a nice day, my friends. Get up and fight.